for asking. Those are it's a good, very good question. So, okay. And that's sort of how we can, again, that's what sort of this activity is you're one standard deviation below, you kind of say, okay, yeah, that's 68%. If we go 2 below, to 2 above, we should get, this is going to be about 95% of the data, 95% probability of being between 1 and 2. And that was why we sort of said that's sort of our usual 2 below to 2 above. And then if we're further out, that's where the unusual stuff, if it's less than 5%, is really unusual. And that happens if we're 3. And you see the 3 is almost, it's all down here. There's not much left, right? We've got 99.7% of the data. And again, that just comes from an empirical rule, which also means it's an observed rule. From, again, just doing statistics a lot, this is what we find happens when we have a normal distribution. Okay, so we'll be using sort of these 3, the empirical rule from time to time. But now what I want to do is, this is where what's going to make doing the homework not only easy, but understandable. You're going to know what you're getting. So we're going to get your calculator set up. So have your, whatever numworks you're using, whether it's on your computer or your phone or whatever device, have that up and ready to go, because we're going to get you set up with how it works. Okay, so first of all, and I'll do it sort of both at the same time with the pictures. So we're going to go to the distributions. So I arrow down from when it's on. We need to be in distributions. You hit OK, you'll see you get this next listing. We've been working with binomial, right? What are we working with now? The normal. So we want to work with the normal curve. And so we're going to hit OK. And as you see, we get to the next stage. And this is where for this lesson, we're going to keep everything with a mean of 0 and a standard deviation of 1. So we're working with the standard normal curve. Starting tomorrow, we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to see we can put in a different mean and a different standard deviation, and we still have the same tool. Okay, so we leave it at 0, we leave it at 1, and then we go to next. And this is what we see. Okay. What I want you to notice is that this tool has 3 parts to it. Okay. Notice the first one that came out is sort of less than, the area less than a measurement. This is x less than or equal to. In the homework, it might use z instead of x, but that's okay. It's really the same thing. So you'll see in the homework, they'll use z, but your calculator is going to use x. So anytime we want to get what percent is below a number, this is the one we're going to use. The middle one, okay, so this is the bigger picture, right? The middle one, and we arrow back over here, we hit down, we can get to the middle one, and what is that going to give us? It's going to give us the area of what? Not necessarily, yeah, this one would, it was 1 standard deviation above specifically, but notice it's the percent between 2 measurements, 2 x values or 2 z values, right? This is going from 0 to 1. So sometimes we have 2 measurements and they say, what's the probability of being between those 2? That's the tool we'll use. Okay, so that's the between. So what we're going to look for is, what is the question? Is the question asking the percent below? Is it asking the percent between? And what would the third one be? This one down here. The shaded region is above a number, right? So this one is, x is bigger than the number. So it's the percent above the mean. And notice, doesn't this make sense that the percent above should be 50%? the percent below is 50%. And you're going to see this tool is very versatile because it includes a lot of different things. On the other calculators, you actually have to do a different one. But this will take us through lessons, the next 2 lessons. Sometimes we're given the percentage and we want to find the value. Okay, what percent, so we can do a lot with these ones. So is everyone in this setting? Okay, because that's important, because now we're going to do some together, and I want you to practice, because where do you learn to drive? Not in the passenger seat, in the driver's seat. So I want you in the driver's seat while we do this next one. Okay. So here's our first question. And we're going to ask you to kind of sketch the picture. We're going to see your calculator will get you. So you might, anyway, let's see. The question is, find the cumulative area to the left. Is the left below, above, or between? Left, to the left. That corresponds to a z-score of 1.15. Will the area be more or less than 1? So again, you could kind of over here draw. This is how we did it in the old days. How I learned, you draw a normal curve. Where would 1 point, and what's in the middle with the standard normal? The mean, right, which is 0. So where is 1.15? It's above, right? 1.1. And again, we're just estimating. I don't know. It's not, but I'm going to say it's about here. And we want the area to the left. So to the left, is that above, below? Below this. Yeah, when we talk, yeah, to the left is over here. So this is what we want. Okay. So we come to our calculator. We have to choose this tool, right? The below. That's where x is less than this number. We arrow into this place here. And what do we want to change that 0 to? Or we want to change that to 1.15. 1.15. And then when we hit execute, notice it draws a picture for us. We've got this shading. It's labeled it. Not really, but we know that's 1.15. And then it's got our answer here. And so, I did this a little bit earlier. I can take away my picture because it's you can't necessarily paste your calculator picture in there. Erase it. Okay. So you should see something like this, right? And here's our answer, 0.8749. And we'll stick with this with 4 decimal places, which is about 87.49%. Okay. So the probability of getting that score of 1.15 or less is 87.49%. So far, so good? Is everyone able to reproduce that? So if you can do that, you can do all of these. And everything we're going to do is going back to this calculator to get those percentages. What I want you to do, though, is, do the sketch. And so you start to see, okay, yeah, this is the area below. It's matching. It's got the notation for you. So look at that notation, reflect on it if you had to come up with it. And it's got your answer here. And we're going to see that this tool is going to help you see both the visual, the graph, as well as the calculations. Shall we try it again? Got another question. Find the cumulative area to the left that corresponds to a z-score of 0.24. 0.24. Where's 0.24 in terms of the mean? Is it above or below the mean? Above. How do you know it's above? It's positive. It's small, but it's positive. It is. It should be. It's negative. Thanks for pointing that. So somebody made a mistake when they copied it over. When I copied over, I actually had to type this in, I think. So let's make it, but we can fix it. I'll fix mine so you don't have to fix yours. Thank you. So we'll call that negative 0.24. Now, is this above or below the mean? Below, because thank you. Thank you. Good. So let's do this one. Which of the three tools are we going to use? The below, the between, or the above? Below, because we want to the left, right? And this time we just come in here, instead of 1.15, we put our negative 0.24. And since it's below the mean, do you think that this area is going to be 50% or less? And again, you're going to get this should help you get a fairly good intuitive feel, right? It's less than, yeah, so it's below the mean, it's less than 50%. In fact, it's only 40%, just moving that little bit away from the mean. Okay, so you'll start to pick up on these. And again, we could write in our answers here. .4052 if we round it, or we could list it as 40%, 40.52%. Or if I click there, I've actually pasted in the window. And remember, you have access to these, so you can go back if you want to pull this lesson up, and those are already stored there, so you can kind of do the same thing. Okay, so far so good? Okay. And again, the way I learned to do this is I'd have to figure out that 0.24. I'd have to go to the back of the book. There was a printed table, and I'd have to look it up in a chart using the left and the right. And sometimes I couldn't get exactly 0.24. Maybe I'd have to go to 0.25, and I'd have to estimate. But see, these, you're going to get exact values because it's built into the calculator that you can carry with you. You can have it on your phone, so it's always with you, right? Because you don't go anywhere without your phones anymore, do you? Can't hardly do anything, right? I can't even get into my school stuff because of double authentication. You need your phone for everything these days. All right, so let's kind of look at another one. Here, the cumulative area to the left, that corresponds to a z-score of 2.17. So just think, where's 2.17 in regards to the mean? Above or below? 2.17. Above because it's positive. And 2.17, that's a lot above the mean, right? Okay. And so again, if you drew a little picture, you could think it's about here, maybe. It's way up there. We're going to get all this area here. That's going to be big, right? It's going to be a big percentage. That's what we say, more than half. Come over here. We do the same thing with our calculator. And again, look at this. All we got to do is change this to 0.17, and we get instant feedback. Yeah, it's pretty big. It's a lot of area, and it's 98.49%, or 0.9849 gets rounded up, so actually 50. We do 98.50. Okay, so we're almost done. Let's do a couple more. Let's do that one. Find the area under the standard normal curve to the left. We've done a couple through the left. I'm going to skip over this one because I want to get us to the next one, which is this one. Find the area under the curve of the standard normal curve to the right of z equals 1.06. Okay, so if I go to the right, how is that going to be different? I have to come here and I have to change the tool to the third one, right? To the right is above whatever value. And so that's going to be x greater than the value I put in here. I put 1.06. And look at that. Okay, that makes sense. It's to the right. So however you put it together, and that's going to be 0.1445. Okay, we still got 5 minutes, so we'll get enough to go through. But see how quickly we can start going through these. All we're doing is changing whether it's below, above, or between. I do that, I got a copy, got a way to check it. And again, you can pull these up. These are on my Google slide deck. Pull them up and you can walk through these and you'll see the pictures to verify it. So, and I'm very heavily going to go with those visuals. Yes. We should round it on the fourth one. Thank you. So yeah, so it should be 6, right? Thank you. Keep me on. See, you guys are sharper than so. I get a little bit lazy sometimes, but thank you. Thank you. So far, so good. Next one, z-score of minus 2.16. Is that going to be above or below the mean? Below, because it's negative, and we want the area under the curve, stand normal curve to the right again. So we still use the same tool, and all we got to do is change that value, and we put in negative 2.16. Remember, that's going to be way down here, but we want the area above that, and see, we get that. Oops, I put 1.6. And see, that's what's nice about this. I could say, wait, I must have done something wrong. I thought I put 2.6, but I didn't. I hit the wrong button. So that's the nice thing about these modern tools is they give you the visual that helps you verify when you put in a wrong number. Doesn't that look about right now? Yeah, negative 2.16, 98.46. Yeah, round it to 4 decimal places. Looking good? That's all your homework is, the same thing. It's going to ask you these different, but so there's only one other. So we've done, so I got to come back here. We've done below, we've done above. What's the one we haven't done? Between, right, between two numbers. Okay, so here's one with a between. But all we got to do, the only thing that makes this different, is we come back to the calculator, we change the particular tool we're using. We got our 3 choices, right? We choose the one for between. And as soon as we do that, we've got a place to put a lower end and an upper end. Okay, and what's our lower? Negative 1.5. What's the upper? Positive 1.25. And again, the picture is going to show us exactly what we end up getting. Negative 1.5, which should be below the mean, right? Because it's negative. And then we arrow over. This is going to give us 1.25, which is above the mean because it's positive. And then we see our area matches, right? And we've got our answer. It's 82.75%. Okay. And let me just click through this. There's one more. You do it on your own or do the homework. Same thing, just get using that tool. So now you're ready to do questions 1 through 9 in the homework. If you can do that before tomorrow, you'll be right on set. And it should only take you 10 to 15 minutes. Thank you. I'll get it unlocked. You always keep me on track. Okay. I'll get it unlocked so you can do it hopefully by tomorrow. And then we'll pick up from there and see how we can use these tools. All right, you too, Brian. There we go.